Recently, we finally got another batch of treasures, and I think it's time we talk about the updated priority as to which ones you should be building and which ones you can completely ignore because this is not worth it, aka milk. But more on that on a little bit. As usual, before we start, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and today's topic is going to be, of course, everyone's favorite treasure priority and which ones are worth building or not. Of course, do not follow what I have in here. This means nothing. This is just the ones I built personally, right? So that said, before we start, leave a like, subscribe, having to the channel, and also it's important to mention because I know some of you have been asking, right? Sefhi, these skins look really good, but they are too expensive in game, and I'm tired of being a broke boy. I have a solution for you. Thanks to today's sponsors, aka Top Up Life. You can just get the skin, and not only the skin, but any pack in the game, cheaper than what it would actually be in the actual application. So, of course, if you want to be using this and get up to 21% discount, for example, the gacha skin for Rappi, feel free to use the link in the comments down below and on my description, and use the coupon code Sefhi for an even bigger discount. And of course, thank you to Top Up Life for sponsoring today's video. That said, back to the topic at hand, which is going to be, of course, the treasure priority. There is a couple of things we can talk about. Mostly the guide we have right here, right? To going over what's meta, what's good, and the rest. And then we can also go over the tier list and actually just filter by treasure. Just by treasure, and you'll get all of them here. So let's start from the top to the bottom, okay? From the top to the bottom. Clearly, Helm is still unmatched, okay? I think this comes to no one's surprises, but this is still the best character out there. Like when we talk about treasures specifically, right? This is a girl that is now giving you the crit rate we can't even ignore. She is giving you extra regeneration, heals on full charge shots, extra attack damage, 100% uptime, damage to interruption parts, QTs, and not only that, but her own personal damage is really good, and her heals on burst are retarded. Makes no sense how good they are. You will go from 0 to 100 on any unit on less than a second. It's that good, that good. So this is a fantastic character, one of the best treasures so far, and it's used everywhere. If you can only build one treasure, nothing has changed, it's still Helm. Then after Helm, it gets a little bit more complicated. It gets a little bit more tricky as to what you want to build. And I'm going to be honest, when I go into here and we go into good, right? There is 4 treasures. It's Drake, Julia, Miranda, and 12 ones. I would focus on supports. Because the problem with Julia, as good as a damage dealer that she is right now, and if you guys are interested, you can go watch the video that I made on her phase 3, testing it right here a couple days ago. As good as a damage dealer that she is, and she over creeps Eve, but you know what I mean, right? She is catching up to Eve on equal conditions and doing more damage, but Eve is providing utility for the team. The problem with Julia is that DPSs can get benched way faster than supports. You will still use the Tove Treasure for the shotgun teams everywhere. Look at this fire. I love this fire. You will still use the Miranda Treasure as a buffer on every raid, on every boss that you can, because it is that great. And same goes for Drake. Even though she is a good DPS, we're building her for her utility as well on the shotgun teams. So those 3, in my opinion, are still having an edge over Julia. Julia is fantastic and her damage is good, but Julia is an in-between, in my opinion, of a T1 and a T2. She is right there in the sense of, okay, I'm really good, I'm better clearly than something like Exia, right? But she will be at the same level of Viper, probably, when we talk about the rest of the treasures, because everyone else is lumped together here, right? The rest of the treasures, I would still say the priority goes specifically for Viper because of her damage and usage in raids. She's still used, in contrast to, for example, Laplace. I don't have the Viper treasure, but in contrast to Laplace, Laplace is not even used on Iron Weak raids. But when we talk about Viper, she's a character that is still, even on the previous raid, was still being used on a lot of teams. So it's worth building only for that after you've done, you know, the actual good ones and the meta one. You can go instead of Julia into something like Viper. But it's the same. I feel like Julia, Viper, and even Exia are in the same situation where it's really hard justifying putting them. Where the fuck is Laplace here? Did I miss putting Laplace in this guide? Okay, Laplace is missing. Imagine Laplace is here, okay, on the rest. But Laplace would be here. The priority goes for those 3 because they're actually still getting some use. But Exia and Laplace, it weren't, okay, almost no usage. Like I could probably be removing those 2 from the priority and just put Viper in there because he's the only one getting some usage. After those 3, Polly, Diesel, and Bay, also Frima, are not worth building. The only situation where Frima would be used is if you are building Laplace for the true damage team. True damage team doesn't exist, but you know what I mean. When it comes to Diesel, she's still a decent tank as a V2, but this is not enough for the cost that it implies, right? Because treasures are expensive. And when it comes to Bay and Polly, they are PvP treasures. It's just not really worth getting them because they're not great, okay? They are characters that, for the most part, even though Bay's background is fantastic, and I will probably be at some point building it just so I can get that background, right? It's not worth it. She sucks, okay? Sadly, I assume Clay will have the same fate from being a really bad unit to still being a really bad unit. Nothing changes. And then lastly, we would have to talk about the elephant in the room. The only character that nowadays has one tier all for herself. Like if I remove everything here and I scroll down, she has one tier for herself, mostly for a meme. She will be a D4 character, right? It's Milk. Milk has so many issues that I don't even know where to begin with, bro. I'm really tilted with Milk. She was a character I was looking forward to getting a treasure because I like her, and nowadays I actually get tilted when I see her. Shift up, thank you, appreciate it. Milk is a character that her heals are not bad. Yeah, sure, if you build a treasure, can she heal? Yes. But that is not enough for a B1 with CDR. This is the only character in the game that's a B1 with CDR on the treasure and actually heals. The problem is that her CDR is so bad of a cooldown reduction. You are better off using Sakura, brother. You are better off using normal Sakura as an off burst just for her CDR. That's how bad Milk is. And that's why I will never ever recommend building her. Are her heals actually decent? Yeah, absolutely. Her heals are decent. For most raids, you don't even need heals. People run rogue on the Electro team without any healer. So for the most part, you do not need heals that potent. Same for Helm. We run her because the utility on the ground team, not because the heals, right? So it's something that I will never recommend building. It's a treasure that, as much as I like the character, or I used to like the character, I don't like her anymore, right? Just because of this treasure, I just can't recommend building it. So far, the new batch was pretty decent, I will say. If we ignore the two of them are PvP, because some people like PvP, so I'm not gonna be here like, oh, you guys don't deserve anything. Right, I'm not gonna be an asshole, but if we ignore two of them are PvP, I will say both the Julia and the Toph treasure were pretty good. I'm not gonna give advice into how great or not Polly and Bay are, because I do not understand PvP. If you guys have tested it on PvP, do let me know, but for PvE, they are not that great. That said, however, that is going to be everything for this video. This is on screen right now the priority for the treasures that you want to follow. Again, Julia and Viper could be together on like that 1.5 tier, most likely, and Laplace and Exia losing priority. I'm going to be honest, most likely for the 3rd anniversary, we will be revamping the tier list. I need to include a new tier somewhere, because there is too many characters on some of the tiers that are just not matching well together. Like there is characters like, for example, Mihara right here, that is like a clearly in between, just like Raven of a T0 and a T1, right? So I don't know how I want to handle it. I don't want in between tiers. It's gonna be a new tier completely. I'll see how I want to do it later on. Most likely, what I was thinking on, it's after current meta, put like bossing characters, just really good bossing units, and then having the good units, the T1, right? So again, we'll see. Any feedback or any ideas are welcome, but that's gonna be it for the treasure priority video. And once again, thank you to Top Up Life for sponsoring today's video. You guys can use my code Sefhi for up to 12% discount plus whatever discount they have on top. As usual, we are live every single day. Links also in the description. Good luck with the pool, the internet. I'll see you in the next one.